Hey, on the road right now in Columbus. Got a show tonight with Men in Blazers out here. Clint Dempsey, Roger Bennett, all the guys. So I'm on the road, as you can see. Mauricio Pochettino fires back at his critics. And maybe I'm one of those critics. No, I definitely am, right? He's definitely seen the videos. He's definitely watched Football Americas, MIB, all that good stuff. Um, he's well within his right to fire back at critics, and I want to read exactly what he said so you guys know what we're talking about, and then you can come to your own conclusions. Uh, Reporters asked him about Chris Richards and why he didn't, why he came off the bench, didn't start against South Korea. He goes, "People sometimes create debate and talk with nonsense." It says, "This national team in this country has qualified already for a World Cup, so the important thing is to apply common sense." Hear that? Common sense, people. If people want to talk about bullshit, they can talk about bullshit. But we feel a responsibility to provide the whole group of players. We need to give the priority to see how they feel, because if not, we take a risk in a friendly game. We maybe create a big problem. And then he goes on to say, the debate if he plays, they're going to debate if he doesn't play, yada, yada. Sometimes people want to talk to analyze the results and want to be negative. Is that you? I think it's a little bit shameful. We need to be positive because we need to be all together, because this country deserves to be on one side to arrive at the World Cup in the best condition, to be to be a competitive team, to make our fans proud. That is the most important thing. And he goes on to talk a little bit more, keeps taking some shots, defending himself. We are not amateurs. We are professional people who are looking at all types of situations. You need to bring in some players with the possibility to give some time. You ask me why? Because Malik Tillman, he is injured. Who is going to replace him? That is why now is the moment. Now, let's start with Pochettino and his need, because according to a lot of reporters, he was on the defensive today during their presser the day before the game uh, versus Japan here in Columbus. On the defensive, he goes on to talk about why he does things and trust the process. We are professionals, and this is the way it needs to be. And it screams to me, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, of you stupid Americans. If you were to tell me, and by the way, he's well within his right to defend himself. Fair play, good for him. Good for him. I don't agree with 95% of what he said, but at least he's coming out trying to explain himself. I applaud him for that. He wants this country to be like Argentina. Like Argentina is all I kept hearing. You need to die for your national team. You need to die for this country, to play for this country. You need to be begging to play. Then he downplays these games. We're September of 2025 with the looming World Cup 9+ months away, and here he is trying out players. And I'm more than happy that a guy like Tristan Blackman got his opportunity at 30 years of age. More than happy. Love it. I love players getting an opportunity. But it's the amount of players that you give an opportunity to at the same time. And when you give them an opportunity, you're beyond trying players out. You're beyond, let me throw a flyer. You don't have a Messi. You don't have a Cristiano. You don't have a Neymar. And because you don't have these type of players, some of your parts, you need all the strongest players here. You need Anthony Robinson. You need Gio Reyna. You need Malik Tillman. You're going to need Ricardo Pepi. You're going to need Austin Trusty, Aiden Morris. You're going to see all these players, Cameron Carter-Vickers, who are playing at a different level, Champions League level. You can make the case for Cameron Carter-Vickers and Austin Trusty. They lost that in the qualifying round, whatever, but they were there. You're going to need them because you don't have these difference makers, So you need these players who have built equity, who understand and recognize each other, the Weston McKinneys, because you don't have that time. It's 5 years with these players that you're throwing down the drain. There's going to be those out there. These players sucked anyways. You guys sucked anyways. USMNT naturally sucked. At the world's level. They never sucked in CONCACAF. And now they suck in CONCACAF. Well, that's what they're going to say. Not my words. So I applaud him for showing fire. Applaud him for at least trying to explain himself, even though it seems like half the times he explains himself to the press, it's screams of "you know nothing, let me do my job," and that's a no go. Some of these guys in the press, you guys could shit on them and say they don't ask good questions. They're hard-working people who know the game, who constantly are on the road with the team, constantly are trying to ask questions that you want to be answered, and sometimes they're not answered. And most oftentimes they're not called upon, and oftentimes they're spending resources that sometimes their company doesn't have, or they don't have to go out there and try to get you the content that you want or need. So I applaud those people for being there. And some of these people have gone as far as to now ask questions in Spanish because they want him to be as brutally honest and clear as he can be. Why as clear as he can be? Because there are inconsistencies to what he says. Do you guys remember when he came to the national team? Do you remember? We're going to go try and win the World Cup. And if we don't win the World Cup, we want to be a team like Morocco. We want to be a team like South Korea, Turkey, who make a deep run. And when he was on El Chiringuito, when he was doing the Spanish media not too long ago, they asked him what's expected of him from the U.S. in the World Cup. And he goes, oh, no. I can't score the goals, nor can I block them. That ain't on me. Already kind of tempering expectations. What happened to we're going to win the World Cup? What happened to we're going to make a run? What happened? We can be good. We can dictate play. We're going to be aggressive on the front foot. I don't know about you guys, but I see this team play. They're not aggressive. They're not on the front foot. I don't even know what they're trying to play for. The inconsistencies that I'm talking about? Let's see. He once said, okay, for me, it's not a friendly. For me, it's official. When I was a player with Argentina, Copa America, the World Cup, or a friendly, it was the same. To show that you are the best and to win the game for your country. Now he's talking about these are friendlies, guys. We're trying players out. The results don't matter. Don't worry about it. What matters is that we start winning at the World Cup. What happened to there are no friendlies? What happened to every game for your national team is important. It is do or die. Now, it don't matter. We got to next summer. It don't matter. Judge me come next summer. I don't know what had happened, how we got here with the U.S. men's national team, Mauricio Pochettino. I'm a little bit surprised. If you're not surprised, you should be. It shouldn't take that long to instill a game plan, values, a core, a mentality, a tactical approach with a national team. It's apples to oranges. I understand it is. The women's game and the men's game, it can be apples to oranges for many different reasons. But Sam Crocker got it right with Emma Hayes. They spent money on Emma Hayes. They reset the market with Emma Hayes, made her the highest paid coach in the women's game. And they were coming off a World Cup, their worst World Cup. And it was a worst World Cup by getting only to the round of 16, which is the norm for the men. And they hit the reset button. And the next tournament out, maybe 50 days? 50 days with a new generation of players, exciting young players. They won Olympic gold. It's not that difficult to say, this is my team, pick it. This is my style. This is our approach. These are our core values. We're going to it. We're going to do it. But when you watch, and I ask you, when you watch the U.S. men's national team, is that a team that represents you? Is that a team that's difficult to play against? Is that a team that's fast in transition? Is that a team that you know at any given moment can punch any team in the world right in the mouth? 2009 U.S. men's national team. Spain's 35-game unbeaten streak. That was the U.S. men's national team. Punched them in the mouth. And when you punch somebody hard enough in the mouth, sometimes you get away with it. Even if they're bigger, stronger, faster, better, you can win. Does this team give you that feeling? No, they don't. And that's on Mauricio Pochettino. So Mauricio Pochettino can fire back fire back at the critics. He can do that. He can really do that. He's well within his right, but so are you. So are you. So if you want to voice your opinion, voice it. Just like Mauricio Pochettino. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Boys and girls, I'm going to read them.